If you really think you can do that, then why don't you try?
Can you still say that even after seeing this?
Is that...
Sorry to keep you waiting.
No problem. You didn't need to run that fast. It's fine.
I'm so sorry. Work ran late. Did you wait for a long time?
No, I didn't wait at all.
My name is Hiromi. I'll be turning 25 years old this year, and this is my boyfriend Yukinari. We met on a dating app 2 years ago. Given that we were both looking for a partner to get married to, we instantly hit it off. Yukinari proposed to me 6 months ago, and I was about to go meet his parents for the first time.
Don't worry about it. My parents aren't that strict when it comes to time or anything.
That would be good, but...
Oh, Yukinari. And this must be Miss Hiromi.
Hello, sir. Nice to meet you. I'm Hiromi. If you like, please enjoy these.
My, how very kind of you. Thank you very much. Well then, both of you come on in.
Pardon me.
Hiromi, you don't need to be that stiff. Our family's really casual. I want you to think of this as your own home.
Sure. Yukinari was nice enough to say that, but I couldn't risk anything going wrong. I was full of nervousness after his father guided us into the living room. What? I nearly let my voice slip. Sitting on the living room couch was a person that I imagined was Yukinari's mother. That in itself was fine, but the problem was...
Is that person Miss Hiromi?
Come on, Mom. I told you that Hiromi was coming to meet you guys today, didn't I? What are you doing?
Oh yeah, I remember you saying something about that.
His mother was laid out on the couch, munching on snacks as she watched TV. At the very least, it wasn't an attitude to welcome a guest into the house.
Why don't you pull it together? Miss Hiromi is here already.
What do you want? This is my house, you know. Why do I have to be mindful of her?
Mom, don't you think that's rude to Hiromi?
Excuse me? First of all, I never said one word about wanting Miss Hiromi to come here, did I? You're the one that brought her over on your own, Yukinari.
You don't have to say it like that.
From what I could tell, Yukinari and Yukinari's father were both at the mercy of his mother. I guess this is what they call a matriarchy. I was a little bit worried about the future, but I did think that this was more fitting for me than an over-dignified father. I thought that more than being pressured by a male figure, I might be able to find some common ground this way, but...
Hey, you! Where are these clothes from?
What I'm wearing right now? It's from Uniqlo.
You're wearing clothes that cheap? Oh, please, you must have no taste. You're still young, so you need to put in more effort.
Mom!
Oh, what? I'm only telling the truth.
No, she's right. I'm meeting them for the first time, so I should have come in much more proper clothing. The room had a very strange atmosphere after that, but we at least got through the introductions. When it came time to leave...
That reminds me, Yukinari. You and Hiromi are planning on living together, right? Yeah, we're going to rent an apartment first. And eventually we're planning on buying our dream home. Oh, and Miss Hiromi, is that what you want to do as well?
Yes.
You really shouldn't do that, talking about a dream home. Can you even pay back a loan? You know if you have kids, it's only going to cost more money.
Obviously, I know that.
And plus, you both have a low salary, right? You really shouldn't be living under such unreasonable means.
Mom, you don't have to say it like that. You're crossing the line.
But it's the truth, isn't it?
What Yukinari's mother was saying may have been rude, but it was also true that what she was saying wasn't wrong.
In that case, why don't you move in here, right, honey?
Are you asking me? What do you think? Why should we have to live with you guys? Obviously, neither of us want that.
My goodness! Is that the attitude you should be taking with your own mother?
I can't do this anymore. Let's go Hiromi.
Excuse you!
And just like that, Yukinari grabbed my arm and we walked out of his parents' house.
I'm sorry about today.
Not at all. It doesn't bother me at all. That being said, I've never met a mom like her before.
I really feel bad about it. Was it uncomfortable?
I was surprised, but every family has its own issues, so please don't worry about it. So I'm looking forward to the rest of my life with you. That day, Yukinari and I went our separate ways. It was the day of our wedding. I was anxious on the inside about how Yukinari's mother would be when participating in the wedding, but there weren't any particular issues. She arrived dressed appropriately, and her roughness from before wasn't presenting itself. But of course, that's the case. If she did that in front of my parents, anybody can imagine how that might end up. But also, in order to not let her mouth slip, my mother-in-law barely spoke that day. All that being said, the wedding ceremony finished smoothly. I was relieved from the bottom of my heart. That day, we were going to visit Yukinari's parents' house. Because I had been there before, I wasn't as nervous this time. If anything, I just wanted to get closer to my mother-in-law.
Mom, we're home!
Oh dear, Yukinari, welcome back.
Today, compared to the last time, his mother was treating us much more politely. Perhaps she felt guilty about the last time I was here. And also, his father wasn't there today. Apparently, he was out playing golf with his colleagues from work. But at that moment...
Oh, a phone call. Yes, hello. Yes, this is he. Yes, I understand. I'll be right there.
What's the matter?
I'm really so sorry. It looks like there's been a bit of trouble at work, and I'm so sorry about this. But please hang out just the two of you today.
Hey, wait! Apparently it was quite the emergency situation, and Yukinari ran out the door.
Well, this is perfect, Miss Hiromi. Now that you're here, you can help out around the house.
Sure, I'd be happy to. Since Yukinari was gone and now I had nothing to do, his mother gave me instructions to help out around the house. This is my opportunity to get along with my mother-in-law. Or so I thought, but first the laundry, then wiping down the floors of the house. After that, wiping the windows. She tasked me with cleaning up around the house. During that time, as for my mother-in-law, oh, she's watching TV. To my disbelief, she was laid out on the sofa by herself, lazily watching TV. I thought that she was going to clean up with me, so this was disappointing. That being said, there was no way I could ask her to help with the cleaning. I had no choice but to stay quiet and continue cleaning. And then, 2 hours later, "Excuse me, ma'am, I finished all the cleaning."
I sure hope you cleaned everything properly.
Yes, of course I have. What does she have to complain about? I wanted to say, but I needed to hold my tongue here.
Well then, next go buy the groceries. I'll give you a grocery list, so take that.
Grocery shopping?
Yes, what's the matter? Hurry up and get to it.
Yes, ma'am. Just as I thought I was finished the cleaning, now I was being sent out to do the groceries. At this rate, I was essentially like a housemaid. But regardless, this was my mother-in-law. There was no way that I could complain. I had no choice but to go out to do the groceries. By the way, where's the supermarket?
Oh, yes. I think it would take about an hour to walk from here.
What, 1 hour? Would it be possible to let me borrow your car at the very least?
What kind of luxurious request is that? If I were to let you borrow it and you were to cause an accident, that would be a disaster. Now, hurry up and go. Get out.
I had no choice but to head towards the supermarket, 1 hour each way. By the time I got home, I was exhausted, but then...
Hiromi, what were you doing?
Actually, Miss Hiromi here was helping out around the house.
Really? Thank you, Hiromi.
What? No, well...
Miss Hiromi got so into it, thanks to her I didn't have to do any of the chores.
By completely lying, my mother-in-law was just trying to get on Yukinari's good side, and that made my blood boil. But there was no way I could argue with her, so all I could do was keep my mouth shut. Yukinari and I had moved into an apartment together. I couldn't say it was a particularly nice apartment, but we were supporting each other as we made our lives work. However, this day to me was a depressive day. That's because Yukinari's parents were coming over. The problem was, of course, my mother-in-law. But because my father-in-law was also coming, that was the one saving grace. Knowing her, I was sure that she was going to start saying something unpleasant when she got here.
Mom, long time no see.
Wait a minute, why are you living in a place like this?
What do you mean, why? Why not?
It's far from the nearest station, and more than anything, it's completely run down.
Well, that's because we're both young. We don't have much savings yet. We can't live somewhere expensive right off the bat.
You just chose this place because the rent was cheap? What on earth do you have to do to want to live in a place like this?
You don't have to say it like that. Hiromi and I talked about it together and we chose this place.
I knew it. Miss Hiromi chose it, didn't she?
I understood her situation and agreed to live here with Yukinari.
Well, for a peasant like you, this apartment is perfect, isn't it? But I can't possibly stand it that Yukinari's living in such a crappy apartment.
Mom, that's enough already. Honey, come on, just leave it at that. Those two accepted this together and they're living here. And plus, look at all that natural light.
My father-in-law somehow defended us, but to be honest, I was really fed up with my mother-in-law. On that day, Yukinari's parents just came over to look at the apartment we were living in. After a short while, they already left. I'm not that confident that I can get along with your mom.
Hiromi, I'm sorry. I never could have imagined that my mom would take that kind of attitude with you. You don't get to see her that often anyway, right? I'm sure as time goes on, things will round out.
I sure hope so, but before I knew it, my mind was completely occupied by thoughts of my mother-in-law. That's how much she was troubling me.
Actually, my mom is coming over today.
What? But she just came here a week ago. Why is she coming?
Apparently, she was running errands and is going to be nearby our place, and she said that she wanted to stop by on the way.
Give me a break already. This is my first day off in a while, but because of his mom, it might get destroyed, so sorry, I have plans today. I'll be back by the evening.
What? But I told you my mom is coming today.
Please give her my regards. And so I decided to leave the house. Of course I don't have any plans. I didn't have a choice, so I decided to stroll around town. Once evening rolled around, I went home, but then...
Hey, you! What do you think you're doing?
When I got home, there was my mother-in-law. It was already 9 o'clock at night. I didn't think that she would still be here at this hour. I don't know if she figured out that I was avoiding her, but she was furious.
Hey, Mom, cut it out.
Yukinari, you're spoiling this woman too much, you know. Aren't you the man of the house?
What do you mean spoiling? There's no need to cuff Hiromi for anything, is there?
In what world does a wife go outside when her mother-in-law is coming to her house, you embarrassment?
I'm very sorry. I apologize that I didn't know any better.
As if I want to hear your excuses. The first time that I met you, I thought you had a stupid face, but how shameless of a woman are you?
Mom!
I've had enough. I'm leaving.
Hiromi, I really am sorry.
I don't get it. She doesn't have to say it at lunch. What have I ever done to her? And you too, Yukinari. Why won't you protect me?
I'm really sorry. I'm sorry, Hiromi.
After this incident, I started thinking about how I can live my life without going anywhere near my mother-in-law. That being said, if I avoided seeing her, I didn't know what she might do to me next time. The days and months passed by, and before I knew it, it was already the holiday season. I was dreading this year's New Year holiday more than ever. That's because we would be ringing in the New Year at Yukinari's parents' house.
We're home.
Welcome back.
I didn't even want to greet my mother-in-law, but I needed to be diplomatic, so long time no see, ma'am.
Oh my, Miss Hiromi, welcome.
What was that? She's speaking to me in a nicer tone than she ever has before. What could have happened? I found myself putting my guard up.
That's right. Tomorrow we'll be having a traditional New Year's meal. So, Miss Hiromi, will you please help me prepare it?
Yes, of course. Was she just taking this attitude because she wanted me to help her? There was no way that was it. I had a hard time believing that the rude mother-in-law would stop at just that. I did as I was told and I helped her to make the New Year's Day meal. However, nothing happened during that time. What was she trying to do?
Hey, Miss Hiromi, are you two not trying to have kids yet?
I suppose so. Not as of now.
Oh dear, is that so? Well, I would love to see my grandchildren soon.
I'll do my best.
But you are very slender, so you don't seem like you would be fit to have a child.
What?
Oh, you couldn't hear me? I said that you have an unreliable build, so I'm worried whether you can develop a healthy baby or not.
That's not true at all. Her words were so rude that I was shocked. I couldn't help but to get emotional, but then...
Oh my, what kind of tone was that? Even after I thought that we could get along. With that attitude, it doesn't seem possible.
I'm very sorry. That wasn't my intention. At that time, I really regretted becoming so emotional. But she was the one who started in the first place. At that moment, I noticed something in particular. That was that my mother-in-law would always come in nicely and then nonchalantly say something horrible. And when I would react, she would treat me like the bad guy, and then she could belittle me for that. I've had enough of this malicious harassment. Maybe I should just get a divorce from Yukinari. That's how far I was thinking. And then the deciding factor was,
well, then everyone, the delivery has arrived.
Oh, it's sushi. There's enough for 4 people, right?
Of course there is.
Well, I'm glad. I didn't know what you might pull this time. I was worried that maybe you wouldn't order enough just for Hiromi to be excluded.
Of course there's no way I would do such a thing.
Sushi, huh? I love sushi so much. But this day, because of my mother-in-law's harassment, I couldn't get excited at all. But regardless of what happened, we started to eat the sushi. However, what is this? The moment I opened the lid, I was shocked. The only thing in front of me was cucumber rolls. But in front of everybody else, there was tuna and salmon, sea urchin, and salmon caviar. It was obvious that my sushi alone wasn't the same.
Oh my, look at Miss Hiromi. You're as green as a cucumber, aren't you? That's why I made all of yours cucumber rolls.
Mom, that's awful.
Isn't this great? You should just sit there and eat those cucumber rolls and pickled ginger.
At that moment, a certain idea came over me. Actually, I have a small surprise for all of you. Please wait for just a moment. Happy holidays, this is Hiromi.
Miss Hiromi, long time no see.
Call us on your social media, Mr. Tetsuya. But are you in MoniRobo City right now?
That's right, I am. What about that?
Actually, I am also in MoniRobo City right now. I'm with my husband and his family right now, but if you might have the time, I was thinking that I would love to treat them all to your sushi, Mr. Tetsuya.
That's a very easy request. Well then, see you soon.
Thank you very much. I will send you the address straight away. Looking forward to seeing you soon.
Hiromi, you really invited someone over?
Oh, please come on in.
Pardon me. Hello? What?
The person that I called was the famed sushi chef Mr. Tetsuya, and this Mr. Tetsuya was a nationally acclaimed sushi chef known for his extremely high-end sushi. My mother-in-law's harassment was so awful that I wanted to make her jump in her seat with my connections. As I expected, my mother-in-law was standing there shaking.
Well then, I should just make you some sushi, right?
Yes, thank you very much.
Hiromi, what on earth is going on here?
Actually, Mr. Tetsuya and I know each other well.
What?
And that's because, even though I was hiding it until now, I'm actually a popular video blogger. My channel is famous for introducing popular restaurants and cafes and reviewing them. I once introduced Mr. Tetsuya's restaurant as well, and after that, he and I have become good friends. An hour ago, when I saw his social media, I discovered that he was really close by to Yukinari's parents' house. And then, when I asked him if he wouldn't mind stopping by if he has the time, he very graciously agreed. When I told everybody about this,
I had no idea that you were such an amazing person, Hiromi.
it's really not a big deal, but I'm sorry I kept it a secret from you. Oh, but you wouldn't be able to eat sushi made by a friend of mine, could you, ma'am? Mr. Tetsuya, you don't need to make anything for my mother-in-law, because I was only able to receive cucumber rolls from her anyway.
What? Well, that's awful. Understood. Coming right up. Here we are. Today's recommendation. High-grade fatty tuna.
Seeing the beautiful, shiny sushi that Mr. Tetsuya was making right in front of her, my mother-in-law was drooling.
Hey, you need to let me eat it too!
I knew this was my opportunity, so I decided to offer negotiation. Ma'am, just so you know, I'm somebody with a lot of influence on the internet. If the world were to find out about your harassment of me, there's no doubt that you would have a hard time going about your daily life, you see?
If you really think you can do that, then why don't you try?
Can you still say that even after seeing this?
Is that?
I had already posted about my mother-in-law's bullying on my social media. That post became a hot topic, and it was already retweeted over 100,000 times. Perhaps you finally recognize the situation and...
Fine, I promise I won't do anything mean from now on, so please, I beg you, don't do anything further than this.
Sure then, in that case, let's put some conditions on it. The conditions that I attached were that if moving forward she would do anything to harass me, I would post everything that's happened until now, all of it with videos attached to my social media. Of course, I would never actually do that, but for my shameless mother-in-law, I need to make sure I had a strong grasp on her. And also, if she ate all the cucumber rolls that she served to me, then she could have some of Mr. Tetsuya's sushi. She somehow managed to eat them all, but now she was full and she looked very regretful. Mr. Tetsuya, thank you very much for today.
None at all. Just call me anytime.
Well then, shall we go home?
Yeah. I'm sorry, Hiromi. I had no idea that you were such an incredible person.
I was also hiding it, so we're even. But Yukinari, I don't like that Yukinari that is being pushed around by his mother all the time.
I'm sorry.
I'm sure your mother and I won't have any interaction from now on, but for example, if we were to have a child and your mom comes barging in, if you don't protect me and our baby at that time, then we really will get a divorce.
I will put my life on it and do my best. I really am sorry.
And so, after I revealed my true identity, we went ahead of our plans and purchased our dream home. I had far more income than Yukinari, so I could have done that from the beginning too. But I wanted to be sure he loved me for who I am. But Yukinari didn't change, and he is insisting that he will work hard to take care of his family in the dream home that I purchased for us. Our family is only going to get there from here, so I also am going to keep working hard.